What is the best way you've seen a guy hit on a girl? Or vice versa? I don't know if this is the best way for SE, but I definitely had something random and very cool happen to me at a bar. Simply put, I was standing next to this really cute girl. I don't know if he saw her checking me out or something, but this guy comes up to us, makes eye contact with her, points at me and goes, "Man, that's a really cool blazer, don't you think?" She gives me a once over and agrees. He gets his drink from the bar and leaves without saying another word. Instant attraction. Dancing and hooking up happen. Thank you, random awesome wingman wherever you are. I never got the chance to say that. This made me happy. Sometimes you come across a random dude who just really helps you out. Awesome. I once heard an old man say to a woman, "Back in my day, we'd have painted you on the side of an airplane." Oops. That's the smoothest thing I've ever heard. Old dude has better game than I do. Of course he does. He's experienced. I was at a upscale bar for happy hour with an old friend catching up. It is a piano bar and everyone drinks martinis, not real martinis, but apple and chocolates and wine, trying way too hard to be sophisticated. The piano is sitting empty before the hired player gets to work. This average looking guy wanders up to the vacant piano and starts singing and playing some Nora Jones-esque. He is amazing. Seriously good. He sees some woman singing along and he calls her up for a duet. She reluctantly agrees. He continues playing and she is totally into it. Some GD mind control is happening. Song ends. He gets a standing ovation and walks off with a woman on his arm. They spent the next 2 hours at the corner of the bar drinking and talking and laughing and eventually left together. He was an average 6 at best, but she was a borderline 9. Under any other circumstances he would have likely struck out, but he nailed it. It's stories like this that make me regret quitting piano lessons. Dude, it is never too late. I bought piano 2 years ago. Now I don't regret not taking piano lessons because every day I'll start practicing tomorrow. I don't know if it counts, but here's one. I went to college thousands of miles from home. First day in the dorm, I spent looking at the wall feeling sorry for myself. Second day, I went to a mall on the bus, but I hate malls, so I ended up in an arcade playing skee-ball. Yes, I'm that old for those that don't know it's a game where you win tickets, which you can then trade in for useless crap. The crap I got was a stuffed sheep, about the size of a small loaf of bread. I then go home and cry myself to sleep out of loneliness. Next day, I wake up, classes still hadn't started, and decide to meet people. On a whim, I take the stuffed sheep and tie a string to it. I went down to the common area and sat down near a wall, and then threw the sheep out, so it was just around the corner. First girl walks up and looks at the sheep and looks at me. I pull the string. She gets a funny look on her face and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm fishing for friends." She just laughed and walked off. Second girl who comes by picks up the sheep and I pulled it out of her hands. She laughs and asks what I'm doing. I say I'm fishing for friends. She says you should just try talking to them. I said, "What do you think we're doing?" We went to lunch, dated for a while. It was awesome. Funniest thing though, I married the first girl. TL. Doctor, all you need is an excuse to start talking. Edit. Okay, so marrying the first girl is a story novel? Epic? In itself. But alas, it has nothing to do with a sheep on a string. True, that is the way we met, but we re-met as it were. Sorry if it looked like a great cliffhanger. I just look back with amusement thinking she was the first person I met when I left to him in plot. In other words, it ain't that I'm not that the pizza wasn't ordered. For what it's worth, the whole sheep on a string thing was a conversation starter for a long time. Most of the people I became friends with would tell that story or ask me about it. I did it on a whim, but I think it was just the right amount of no, cute but not creepy. If I tried to tell all the stories that came about indirectly related to that damn sheep, you'd pretty much have to live 3 years of my life. Sorry, but thanks for the love and the gold, stranger. Wait. How in the world did you end up marrying the first girl? That clearly the more interesting question. Deliver. A guy at my university also volunteered at a dog shelter. Beginning of each school year he'd take a young dog or puppy, bring it with him to campus. He didn't have to hit on anyone. Girls literally flocked to him before he even walked through the doors. Once one of my friends walked up to a girl and casually asked, "Would you like to fill out a survey?" The girl accepted and he handed her his phone with the new contact screen open. Nice. My parents met when my mom was working at McDonald's in the drive-thru window. My dad pulled up and said, "Hey, this isn't what I ordered. I ordered a Big Mac, a fry, and a date with you." Somehow that worked, and here I am. The best part, now he gets to take her to McDonald's for their anniversary. Watched a guy fall down skiing on the steepest part of a run and he could not stop. Skis, poles, hat and gloves go flying. As he is rolling and sliding, I notice he's about to do a bowling ball slam into a girl standing at the bottom. He spreads out his arms and legs and manages to stop, but lying face up, feet uphill, and she is just looking down at him like WTF. He says, "I've been trying to meet you all day." Awesome. Just awesome. At a swimming party during summer break, one girl didn't know how to swim. But my friend took her by the hands into the pool, and next thing, he was holding her in his arms, the smoothest, nicest way. All of us noticed that they made a natural couple, as if it were meant to be. It's perfect. If he ever loses interest, all he needs to do is let go, and she will drown. And she can't say no, because of the implication. One of my close friends and I were playing pool in our dorm commons when this knockout brunette sat down with a few of her friends. Me and my friend both noticed she was glancing at him, but we continued to play pool. A half hour or so goes by, and I asked him what he was doing the following day at 6 when I finished class. He turns and smiles at her before telling me whatever she is doing at 6. Her jaw dropped, and she started giggling. They dated for nearly a year after that. It was the smoothest thing I have ever seen to date. Please tell me right after he said that he cracked a shot on the pool table and sunk all the remaining balls while making steady eye contact with her. He definitely lost that game by about 8 balls, but he's never been much of a pool player. I'm pretty sure he could have hit her with a ball and it still wouldn't have changed a thing. I bet he hit her with a couple of them that night. Met a gorgeous girl early at the beginning of a night party. A few minutes before midnight, I saw her again, and she gave me a frustrated frown. "Is something wrong?" I asked. Last New Year's I didn't have anyone to kiss at midnight, and I was really hoping this year would be different. Guess not. I had been drinking, but not so much as to miss an opening like that. Took her in my arms and kissed her up to and through the countdown. At the time it all seemed very spontaneous, but later I learned she had been practicing that line for over an hour. Anyway, this August will be our 20th anniversary. That is adorable. Especially that she'd been practicing. For a few years in my mid-20s I was the wing chick for my male friends. I would swoop in to help them out when they were striking out on their own. As a female picking up another female for a male friend, my most successful pickup line started with, "OMG, I absolutely love your insert whatever they have on that stands out," i.e. shoes, necklace, bracelet, etc. I would chat them up for about 5 minutes and give the signal a scratch behind the ear or thumb in pocket. Male friend would swoop in. I introduce them and tell a story about how this friend is so awesome. Then excuse myself to the bathroom and go home. Usually would wake up to a thank you text. Edit. Thank you to the Redditors who gave me gold. I greatly appreciate it. Also, for those who are asking, I have been cancer free for a few years now. I'm amazed and cannot believe the amount of feedback I have received for this comment. All of you are awesome. Thanks again. Thank you text was not enough. My friends and I also had a wing woman, but we covered all of her drinks, bought her food, and provided a DD when she needed one. She was golden. Edit, good god. DD is designated driver. I did drink freely when I was winging. I didn't really expect much more than that. Half the time I wasn't even involved in their clubbing shenanigans. I would just get a call or text complaining that they were striking out and needed help. Come out to the club/bar, talk to the guys for a few minutes. Like, okay, what are you looking for? Blonde/brunette. Sure thing. One nighter. Intelligent-ish, possible future dates. Bring home to meet mom kind of girl. Then I'd scope the bar, finding girls that were what they were looking for and discreetly point them out to the guys for approval. They'd give me money for a few drinks and I would go up, order a drink next to the girl of choice and strike up conversation. Once I got the guys introduced and established, I had in it the ps out of there. I got them the setup. If they couldn't follow through, it was all on them. Wing chicks that linger can become a cock block or third wheel, neither of which I wanted to be. Also, I wanted to go home. I was working 3 jobs at the time and my daughter was 8. I also had early stage cancer. I was tired as ps, and although I enjoyed the brief hour or so I got away from home and work and doctors to get my buddies laid, I kinda wanted to sleep. For me it was a night out without the commitment of being out all night. It was also free. Win-win. They are all in committed relationships now, engaged or married in the last year or so. Had a blast at the last 2 weddings. Looking forward to the 3 more in the next year and a half. Jesus. A wing woman with cancer? Wow. My now husband had a bad reputation in college. The mutual friends through which we met called him woman poison because he was known for moving from lady to lady. Although I was interested in him, I only pursued serious relationships and turned him down for months. It wasn't that hard, since I lived 2 hours away and had a career to focus on. One weekend, I heard a knock on my door, and on my doorstep was a book he and I had discussed the last time we saw each other. He had driven 2 hours and was about to drive 2 hours back just to leave me a physical copy of something we had talked about. It totally won me over, signifying that he was willing to put time into the relationship. We dated 6 years, have been married for 4, and have a 1-year-old son. When I was 19 I worked at a CD store, remember those? In the local mall with one of the finest women I've ever seen. She looked like a mix between Beyonce and Miss Andy from Game of Thrones. Every day a new fool would come in and try their luck with her, and they all failed, one after another, until one dude. This guy was Swaggy P before there was a Swaggy P. Pimp asps, gold chains, Versace sunglasses, diamond earrings, the whole deal. He simply strolled up to her in what can only be described as the hardest, swaggiest of strolls, and simply asked, "What's up with you?" Smitten she responded, "I dunno, what's up with you?" "Lem hold that number," he responded. "Aight," she said. Dude strolled out of the store not saying a single other word to her. That was the exact moment when I realized I understood nothing.